Okay, good morning, everybody. Okay, so let's start first with the exams, the previous exams. Of course, I just want to enlighten one point. Is that of course, since the exam is online, automatically the exam paper or your exam paper would be different, or the method of the exam would be different automatically, because in previous exams we focused more on phonetic transcriptions and so on. And I gave you the previous exams in which you have to take words, and of course I received many exercises or many previous exams from many students. I appreciate, but there are some students who didn't send me their previous exams. Okay, just bear in mind that I'm taking all this into consideration, okay, in your assessment. That is, not think that the final exam is the only mark. No, it's not.
Teacher.
Okay. Yes, please.
Teacher, can I send
Yes,
it today? The exam, can I send it
Yes,
today?
you can.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you have. Today is the last chance. Today is the last chance. Okay. Some students asked me before that, teacher, we don't know how to send in Google Classroom. You need just to go to any exercise that was before. Okay, that was assigned before, and you click on it and you write whatever you want. Okay, that is, you do any answer of a particular exercise and you send it. Okay, no need. If not, I already gave you my my email. Okay, that is, you can send me that directly to my email, no problem. Okay, so as I said before that, normally the final exam for me is just okay. It's not really a final exam since it will be online. So that's why I always opted for evaluating or assessing my students based on the online work in general, that is from the beginning till the end, which means including your exercises that are sent, including your participation in the live meeting, because we didn't do these live meetings just randomly or haphazardly. No, I did it on purpose, and I gave you each session, and we met each session, so that I can explain the lessons. I sent you many files, so you need just to revise your files and so on. So as I said, since the final exam is online, so automatically I won't give you the phonetic transcriptions. That's evident. Okay, if not, I know that you will check your dictionaries, you will give me all the answers, and I checked all the exercises that you sent to me, the previous exams, and I found that the phonetic transcription was good for all students. Okay, simply, and that's for sure. Okay, to be honest, and we should be honest with each other, because you have relied on your dictionaries. If the exam were, or if the exam were in presential, that is in here, you won't rely on your dictionaries, which means that you will do certain efforts. No problem. So the previous exams, as well as all the other exercises, are taken into consideration, along with the final. So the method of the exam in the final is quite different. Okay, quite different to some extent, that the focus is not really on the phonetic transcription, but you need to know how the word is transcribed in order to answer the questions. Okay, I'm not asking you to transcribe these words, no. Okay, so I'm giving you just some questions, okay, related to the course, related to different issues in the course, and of course you need to know about the phonetic transcription in order to solve that. Of course, the syllable and word stress are also included. Okay, so they are included. That's why you should know the phonetic transcription in order to do that. Okay. Sometimes, even if you know the phonetic transcription, you cannot, or you don't know how to divide words into syllables. This is what I have noticed from some previous exams sent to me by some students. I have checked this to see what kind of problems or difficulties that you have. Okay, concerning the phonetic transcription, that was good. But in syllable and word stress, the problem is that you transcribe the word, but you don't know how to divide the word into syllables. Okay? And let me just summarize some mistakes or some points that you should avoid in the exam. Because I have checked your previous exams sent to me. So the first remark that I have noticed is that many students, while doing the transcription, they do not do the slashes. Okay? How can I know that it is a phonetic transcription? We only know the phonetic transcription by slashes. When I say P, here is it is a letter that you write. It's a written form. While
Teacher,
when
please.
yes, please.
When we talk about slashes, when, for example, when we transcribe a sentence, should we make the slashes between all the sentence or every word with slashes?
Okay, this is what I'm going to explain. Okay, because I checked your previous exams and I noticed some points that you need to avoid. This is the first thing. First thing concerns the phonetic transcription. When you transcribe a word phonetically, you should put the word between slashes. Okay, for example, hi. So I would put a slash, then I write the phonetic transcription, then I add the word with another slash. If just this is a general assignment and requirement. If you don't do that in the exam, either for me or for other professors, that's wrong. Because if I write just hi with the and the diphthong I, hi, and I write it like that without slashes, that's wrong. That's zero. Okay, so bear this in mind. The second, when transcribing, for example, sounds like phonemes, like p, t, k, I won't put it without slashes, because if you put it without slashes, it means p. It means a written form. It doesn't mean a spoken form. Okay, so when you put into slashes, you are transcribing. So when you transcribe a letter that is like P, which is P sound, so here you should put the slashes. You put a slash, P slash. If you are transcribing a word, okay, so you put a slash, you transcribe the word like the dictionary, and you put another slash.
I'm
Okay?
sorry, teacher.
Yes, please.
Just a question. Should we put the apostrophe to indicate the stress on a word while transcribing it?
That's preferable. If you do that, that's preferable. Okay, but if you don't, I don't think that the teacher would make it dramatic. Okay,
Teacher,
so yes, please.
when we put the stress in transcribing, is it on vowels or on consonants?
No, so let me finish, please, and then I will just for the sake of organizing this meeting, okay, let me finish my remarks concerning your previous exams that you sent to me, and take these remarks into consideration because they would be very important in your examination. Okay, and then I will move to explain, because I will try to correct one that is the exams. I will try to correct orally, okay, today, and then we'll try to discuss these points. Okay, so as I said, when you transcribe a letter, you put the slashes. When you transcribe a word, you put slashes. When you transcribe a sentence, don't put all the words of the sentence, okay, between slashes. No, you don't need that. So you need to put just the first slash, and then you transcribe word by word, and you leave a space between words. Like when I say I, then I put a slash, I, then space, eat, then space, chocolate, then space, and then after finishing the sentence, you put the last slash, which means in a sentence or while transcribing a word or a sentence, you need just one slash at the beginning and one slash at the end. This is an indication that you are transcribing. Okay, this is very important. Okay, if you don't put that, that's 0. Okay, for all that is in here, I'm talking about transcription, the right and the correct transcription in the exam. So pay attention, okay, because sometimes we don't correct. Whenever we see that there are no slashes, then there's 0. We don't correct that because we're not talking about phonetic transcription if we don't use the slashes. Okay, this is the first remark concerning this. A second remark, if you have a question, like a general question, like what's the difference between voiced and voiceless sounds, for example, please, the teacher knows that you are copying from the internet. We know all books, we know all websites. Me personally, I always check all the websites and read them. Okay, of course, I rely on books while teaching, but I also check all the websites related to the topic. Why? Because I'm seeing my course from the view of the students. How does the student view the course? I know that all students, once having any item, they go directly to Google or directly to some websites which are sometimes which are paid. Okay, I know all this and we know all this. So don't think that, okay, I did it well, and you go directly and you just copy the answer, or you write the question in the internet, you try to look and you just change some slight, some few points. No. What I need, okay, is to see and to check whether my students understood the course. This is what is important for me. Okay, so while having a general question, please, I want you just to rely on your handouts, not copying what is on the handouts, not copying what is in the internet. Understand what is there. Try to put this in your own words. Okay, try to put this in your own words. That is the way you understood this. I would prefer an answer in this way, okay, than an answer just copied from the internet or from the handouts. Okay, since you have online, that's for sure you will use your handouts. Okay, but the way you give me your question is also important. You understand? So in here, as I said, this is the first point that all teachers take into consideration. They all know that you copy, but the way you give me what you have understood, I feel that the student understands this item or not, or he's just so. And when you put a sentence, please try to take into consideration even the grammatical sentence. That is, don't write, don't make mistakes while answering. Okay, so just use simple sentences and correct grammatical sentences. Be brief, because you're doing spoken English. This is more scientific. So since this is more scientific, so try to use like correct short sentences while answering and be to the point. I'm asking you, what's the difference between voiced and voiceless? So you just, for example, you say the voiced and voiceless consonants, okay, are produced with the involvement or with the participation or with the role of the vocal cords. Full stop. Okay, full stop. And then you can say for voice, like you give a topic sentence, gathering all what you want to talk about. Then you say voiced consonants or voiced sounds are produced when the vocal cords are vibrating. not when vocal cords vibrating. No, when the vocal cords are vibrating. As an example, we have the sounds, and you give an example. While voiceless sounds are those produced when the vocal cords are not vibrating. That's very simple. I won't go to the internet and write a whole paragraph to do that. As an example, we have this and t, k, for example, p are voiceless sounds. So be to the point. I need to feel in your exams, I need to feel, okay, that you have understood, not just me, but all teachers, okay? So which means that in the online exam, I try to read behind the lines, not just what you have copied. So this is as far as the general questions are concerned. And another point concerns this word stress and so on. Of course, word stress, if you don't transcribe, that is, you can transcribe just in a draft. If you are not asked to transcribe, don't transcribe. So then, after transcribing in word stress and so on, you need, if you are asked to transcribe, you need to put the stress in here. A diacritic, okay, of the stress. You need to do it. Why? Because it is the only way to show the teacher that you know the syllable, or the stressed syllable. Okay, so some students transcribe the words, and they put the stress, and the stress is clearly in his phonetic transcription. The stress is clearly on the first syllable, and then while specifying the stress syllable, he writes the second syllable. So what do I understand as a teacher? I understand that this student does not understand what do we mean by stress. He has just copied the phonetic transcription, which is correct. And the stress is clearly, the diacritic of the stress is clearly on the first syllable, while he is stating that the stress syllable is on the second. Do you understand? Please work with a certain intelligence. And as I said, the final exam is not like the previous exams in terms of questions, because I'm not giving you words to transcribe or sentences you already did, okay, in the exercises, etc. So the exam is a bit challenging to some extent, which means that you need to think about it, not to copy. Okay. Then what else? So this is all about the exam. Here, let me share the screen with you, and let's see briefly just the previous exams, okay, to give you an idea about about the way it is. And at the same time, I will ask you some questions, okay, just to get familiar, because there are many types of questions, okay, that the teacher can ask, okay, but they are all within the same like perspective. That is, I cannot give you, for example, I can or I may not give you the phonetic transcription and I want, okay, but to answer my questions in the exam, you need the phonetic transcription. You understand? So that's why I opted in the online exam. I opted for two types of questions. That is, you have two parts. You have the first part, which includes like general questions, but with another method, with another technique, that of true and false, justify. Okay, so I'm giving you now, that is just an idea. Okay, like here I'm giving you a statement, and it's up to you to tell me whether it's true or false. If you say that it is true, you have to justify. If you say that it is false, you have to justify. If you say just true and you stop and you don't justify, that's zero. So here I'm I'm direct, I'm honest with you. I'm giving you just a general idea about the exam, that is the method, not to be, in order not to be confused or to say, oh no, she gave us previous exams that were not like that. No, so because I am a teacher and I have the right to change depending on the method of examination. Okay. So in here we have two parts. The first part, I'm talking about group 2, about my students. I have no idea about that is the exams of the other teachers. Okay, so I'm talking about my module, about me, about my group 2. Okay, so you'll have general questions, and these general questions, the technique in here is that you have certain statements and you have to tell me whether these statements are true or false. That's direct. True or false. You justify. You have charts. Okay, you have tables in which you have to say whether it's true or false, and you justify scientifically using what you have known, using what you have read, using what we have done in classroom. Okay, so all these general questions are in terms of true or false, justification. Then you have the second part in which I have included all. This is the second part. You have another chart or table in which you have to work on the English speech sounds. You have to work on words, on the English speech sounds, and at the same time you have to work with the word stress, syllable division, and so on. That is, you have to follow just the assignment, and you have to follow what is done in the examples. That in the example I'm giving you. That is, you follow just the way I did it in the example, and that's all. Which means that it's really, if normally, I know that there are some students who will really manage to do that. Why? Because they were present from the beginning and following the course from the beginning. Okay, and then it's not really that difficult. It's not really that difficult. Okay, but bear in mind that the final exam is not all for me. It's just one issue or one part of your assessment. It's not all. Okay. So this is it. Now let me share with you my screen. Where is it? Share my screen. I hope it won't. Okay. Okay, so let's start then, as I said, by correcting the previous exams and discussing. Okay.
So there is no speech organs question?
No, I want, please. I'm giving you just in detail. I'm giving you just the planning, the general planning, that is the method of the online exam. I'm not giving you the content. Okay, of course, the content of the questions would be taken from all the course. Okay. What I may say is that the manner of articulation is not included. That's it. But all the course is included. You have different questions from different issues in the course, except the manner of articulation, because I know that inshallah in your S4 you will do introduction to linguistics, and you will do all that in details. Okay, so when I'm talking about the exam, the presential exam is not like the online exam, of course. Even the method and the technique is changing. Okay, so just the technique, it's not the same, but the content is the same. I'm asking you, I'm shooting from all angles. Okay, except, as I said, the manner of articulation. Okay, you won't have it, but you have place of articulation, and you have all the other parts of the course. Good. So to start with,
Sure, we have.
yes.
Sorry,
yes, please. Yes.
we have classification of vowels too, or just
So you see,
consonants because I didn't find the vowels.
did we do the classification of vowels?
No, I don't remember
You don't
that
remember.
we did it. I don't
So-
remember that we did it with you.
Yes. So, did you do the classification of vowels with me? Yes, this is my question.
No, not in
I
our
don't think
life.
so. Yes.
Not you don't think so, but we didn't.
Teacher,
The
the
class,
last slide,
the class.
the last slide that we did, and
Sorry?
the ANT was blocked. So you told us you will
No,
record it
we did.
and
We
send
did.
it.
No, we did just the classification of speech sounds. This is of consonants in terms of place and manner of articulation. Okay, we did not do the classification of vowels. You know what does mean, the classification of vowels? It means that you have to classify the vowel in terms of rounding, in terms of whether they are front or back, in terms of whether they are closed or open. So we didn't do that. Okay, what we did concerning vowels, we did what are the vowels in English? Okay, what are the vowels in English? That is, we did the English vowels. You should know the English vowels, and you should know what are the short and the long vowels. So this is what we did. But as for the classification and going into details, okay, normally it's up to normally you should do it in, or you'll do it inshallah in your S4 linguistics, along with the classification of speech sounds in details, or of consonants in details. So I focused just on vowels, English vowels, okay, in terms of short and long, and I focused mainly on consonant production. And speech organs, and what are the speech organs that are responsible for which sound. That is in here. If I say "p," for example, and I tell you what's the speech organ related to that sound, you should explain how it is produced. Okay, so I focused more on place of articulation, just to introduce you to the other items that will be done in Introduction to Linguistics S4. Okay. So, and I think that what we have covered in this course is sufficient for you to initiate you with the phonetics in general, that is the speech production, and especially articulatory phonetics. Okay, and we talked about phonetics just as an introduction, like what is phonetics, and what are the different branches of phonetics, etc. Okay, and all the other courses that we did, and I can just summarize in here. We started a summarize for those who were not interested at first, and they are just now more interested because the exams are getting near. Okay, so I said that we have focused first on the English speech sounds. So what are the consonants in English? We did, to do that, we started first with the difference between letters and sounds. What's the difference between letter and a sound? Okay.
Letters are written and sounds are spoken.
Yes, this is it. So we talked about letters and sounds. Then, so here I'm talking, or I'm summarizing what we did. I'm talking about my module, about my group 2. So we talked about the English, the difference between letters and sounds. Okay. Then after that, we did exercises on letters and sounds, in which you have to see that correspondence between the letters and the sounds in words. For example, if you have a word, then this word is written with certain letters. So you should specify the number of letters, and you should specify the number of sounds. Okay, and I gave you already the exercise on that, and even the correction in a PowerPoint file with my voice, that is with an audio there. Okay, so after seeing these letters and sounds and correspondences between them, that is to what extent these letters correspond to the sounds in a word, so we move to the English speech sounds. So while moving to the English speech sounds, we talked about consonants in English. So we talked about consonants in English, and I gave you a list of consonants. Okay, this list, okay, here. Can you see my screen? Yes. So you see in here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So in here, as you can see in here, these are the sounds or the English speech sounds that we have focused on. And you see in here, we have done the English speech sounds like consonants in here, and then the vowels. What are the vowels? Okay, so you see, so here these are the sounds or the phonemes that you have to rely on in order to transcribe words. Okay, so we have done these vowels, and I have said that we have vowels that are of course rounded. Okay, sorry, sorry. So we have said that we have vowels in here. And we have what we call the schwa, okay, like here, etc. Sorry. So as I said, and we talked about the vowels in terms of whether they are short or long. We talked about please deactivate your microphone. Thank you. So I said we talked about the vowels in English. You see the vowels in here. And I said that there are some vowels that are short and some vowels that are long. How do we distinguish between the two? It is by the dots, like when I say O and the O, like when I say I and E. So we talked about this. And there are some rounded vowels and unrounded vowels. What do we mean by rounded? We mean those that we round our lips like O. Oh, I round my lips in order to produce it. Or E. I'm not rounding my lips, so it is unrounded vowel. So we talked about this. We talked also about the English diphthongs and triphthongs, okay? We talked about the English diphthongs and triphthong in here, okay? In here, as I said, we focus more on the English speech sounds, diphthongs and triphthongs, and I gave you the examples, and we did certain exercises. Okay, all that we did, the consonants and the vowels, they normally they are in favor of these English speech sounds. Okay. After introducing you to the English speech sounds, diphthongs and triphthongs, I gave you some exercises along with the answers, okay? Okay, the answers concerning these exercises. What were these exercises? These exercises were carried out within this. That is, they were trying to help you to know. Okay, they were trying to help you to know what are the English speech sounds. And I focused in the exercises, namely on the difficult sounds, like those that you are not familiar with, like, for example, th sound, the sound, sh sound, j sound, ch, and j. All these sounds normally are not familiar to you. Yes, Ihsan al-Majdi, please, Majid or Majdi, please deactivate your microphone. Okay, so Ihsan al-Majdi, deactivate your microphone, please, because you're disturbing me. Okay, I said that all the exercises that I gave you before concerning the sounds are related to English speech sounds. That is, to those sounds that are difficult, like sh, j, th, that you don't know. That's why I gave you exercises on these sounds. And I also gave you the answers of these exercises, and we corrected them in some live meetings. Okay, so all these exercises are within the English speech sounds. Even the IPA, or the International Phonetic Alphabet, that is another course, is not separated from the English speech sounds. Why? Because we focused in the, I introduced you to IPA to show you that there is an international standard system that classifies sounds, okay, and that helps you know the difference between letters and sounds. Okay, so we did that just to enlighten, or to make you understand, or to help you understand, okay, the English speech sounds better. Okay, so all this, so we did the IPA and so on, and we focused on some sounds that are problematic with, or some letters that are problematic to some students because they pronounce them while they should not be pronounced. Like, for example, the silent letters. So also silent letters are parts of this course. That is, are parts of the English speech sounds in general. So you see, the English system, sound system. This is what we've been doing. So I've been focusing on each part, doing exercises, correcting them. Then move into IPA, then move into silent letters. Silent letters are letters that are not pronounced in a word. Okay, they are not pronounced in a word. And I gave you many examples, and I gave you also certain exercises on these words. Why? Simply because if you want to transcribe a word, okay, you should show me how it is pronounced, and automatically in a transcription you won't find the silent letter because it is written, okay, like when I say car, which means even in the phonetic transcription that won't be present, it won't be present. Okay, car, that is, it won't be present. You'll find just a long R. Okay, so all these things are related. That is, don't think that you had many courses. You had just one course, which is on the English sound system and the different consonants and the different vowels, the way you should transcribe them, okay, the way you should pronounce them. That's it. So after doing that, of course, we moved to what we call to another aspect of pronunciation in English, that of the pronunciation of the suffix ending, and especially we focused on the plural morpheme, or the plural suffix, and the third person singular, that is the S. Okay, like he speaks. Okay, he digs. So you see, the S of the third person singular has in English different pronunciation, because since we talk about the English sound system, we're talking about the sounds, how they are pronounced, etc. I gave you the silent letters. Then we moved to the pronunciations of the suffixes in English, and we focused on the suffix S of the plural, like when I say, for example, when I say, I don't know, cats, and we focused on the S of the third person singular, like S of the third person singular in verbs. He speaks, he digs, etc. And we focused also on the ed as a morpheme or as a suffix to form or to construct plural in English. Okay, and we said that there are different pronunciations of the S of the third, or the genitive, or the plural genitive, or what is the other one, the third person singular. And then we talked about the ed, and we said that there are different pronunciations. Why did I do that? I did that because we are focusing on spoken English. Spoken English. That is the way you should pronounce certain words end of words, the way you should pronounce certain words that include silent letters. And of course, you should be familiar with the different speech sounds in English because they are different from letters. Okay, so this is it. And then, like in here, I'm summarizing what we did up to now so far, but all these, they go within or they are carried out within the sound system of English, the way you should pronounce sounds and so on. And of course, as a tool to practice the pronunciation is the phonetic transcription, because you will use all these sounds or the phonetic symbols in order to show, okay, practically speaking and concretely, how a word is pronounced. Okay. After that, we have moved to another aspect, which is more which is very important in speaking, that of stress, word stress, and syllable division. Okay, so because you did the phonetic transcription, so automatically when you know how to transcribe a word, automatically you should know how to divide that word into syllables. And as I said before, that a syllable is a combination of a consonant and a vowel. I had a question, I received a question in my mail concerning a syllable. This question stated, does the syllable teacher that the syllable contain, may the syllable contain just consonants? No, may not. Okay, because a syllable, the core of a syllable is a vowel. You should have a vowel. It may be just one vowel. Okay, that's a syllable. One vowel may be called a syllable. But if we have CV, for example, so you see we have consonant, vowel, etc. Okay? So a syllable should contain a vowel. So this is my answer to this question. Syllable must contain a vowel, and the vowel is the core of the syllable. And of course, you have open syllables and closed syllables. The open syllables are those syllables which end with a vowel, like slow. Okay, oh, if you see that there is a vowel, be it a diphthong or a triphthong or just one vowel. Okay? So as I said, after knowing how to transcribe phonetically the words, then automatically you should know how to divide the syllables. Okay, how to divide into syllables. Then after knowing how to divide into syllables, so you should know which syllable you should stress in your speaking. Sometimes you stress one part in a word than the other part. So just professionally speaking here, when you say I stress one part instead of the other, you can say I stress one syllable instead of the other. That depends on the word. Okay, so all these items or issues then, or that we did, okay, are related to the English sound system. You should know what's the difference between letters and sounds. You should know what are the different silent letters in this language. You should know how to transcribe words in this language. You should know automatically how to pronounce the word endings, okay, and how to stress, to make the stress. All this will help you in your spoken language, okay? As a last part, okay, that normally you'll do it in your S4 linguistics. This is what we mean about what we call the speech organs and classification of speech sounds in terms of place and manner of articulation. I left it as a last part simply because I want to introduce you to the item. I want just to tell you that all what we did before lies or is carried out within a branch of linguistics that we call phonetics. Okay, so I need to do that. Why? Because you need to know, okay, that what you all did before, or what we did, all items covered before, lie within the phonetics or phonetics. And as I said, phonetics is a branch of linguistics that aims
to study speech sounds production, okay, or articulation. It aims to study the waves, sound waves, as well as the reception of speech sounds. So in here, when doing this, what we're doing here was within the field of articulatory phonetics. That is, we focused more on the pronunciation. We focused more on the articulation. Okay, that's why we can include it, or we can include all what we did within the field of phonetics. That's why I introduced you to phonetics that you will redo deeply in your S4 linguistics. Just this is just as a background for you. Okay, that will help you later on. You won't find difficulties, okay, in your S4, inshallah. Okay. So, as I said, this articulatory phonetics, of course, we have phonetics branches, articulatory, acoustic, and receptive, okay, or auditory phonetics. Then I have started, of course, you have the classification of speech sounds in terms of place and manner of articulation. I have focused in my course in here just on the classification of speech sounds in terms of place of articulation. Let me tell you why. Simply because we are talking about the pronunciation of words, of sounds, etc. So at least you should know what are the speech organs that are, of course, speech organs is dealt with in phonetics, okay? So I just want you to know the speech organs responsible for the production of certain speech sounds. You need to know as a background what's the difference between those sounds that are voiced, because when you know that and voiceless, because when you know a voiced sound, even in your pronunciation, you will focus on the sound, that is, you say b and v. You feel it, you feel the vibration. So you need to know that this is a voiced sound. You need to know the voiceless sounds. And here, in terms of voicing, it's also not just the place of articulation, but also the manner. When I say v, so the air stream goes through the vocal cords, and the vocal cords are vibrating. We can talk about voicing as a manner also of articulation. But when we focus on the speech organ in here, we're focusing on the place of articulation, okay? So just for you to understand that when we talk about the place of articulation, we're focusing more on the speech organs and the place from which a sound is produced. But when I talk about the manner of articulation, and I can include voicing as a manner of articulation also. So here I'm talking about the way the air stream goes from inside up or to the outside area. Okay, so you see this, don't worry about that, because you see that in your linguistics. But my aim here is to introduce you to the different speech organs. What are the speech organs that you have? That is to facilitate things for you. You can start just from the outside, from the lips. So we have the lips, okay? Then after the lips, we have the teeth, we have the alveolar ridge, we have the hard palate, we have the soft palate, and you go. You have the diagram or the chart for the English speech sounds from the outside till the inside the speech organs. What is important is to know the main speech organs responsible for the speech sounds that you are using, okay? And here also, I may talk about also the cavities, that is the nasal and the oral cavities that are responsible for nasal and oral sounds. So what are the oral sounds in English? What are the nasal sounds in English? What do we mean by voiced and voices? So many questions may be asked concerning the place and manner of articulation. I can say, for example, what's the speech organ responsible for the production of a particular sound? So here you have to justify. So you see, this is just an introductory, introductory process, that is to speech organs to phonetics in general, that you shall go through it deeply in your S4, inshallah. Okay, so this is just like a summary of all what we did up to now. And of course, as I said, I didn't focus on the manner of articulation. I'm focusing just on the place of articulations. It's very important, okay? And then you will see the manner, okay? And as I said, when we talk about the manner of articulation, we're talking about the way we produce, that is the airstream mechanism here. How is it is produced? Is there a friction or a total blockage or a complete blockage of the airstream? This is what we mean by manner for those who are interested. But for the place, we focus more on the place of articulation. When I say P, so I would say that P is a bilabial. Why? Because it is produced by the lips. Okay. When I say, for example, G, so I would say that it is a velar. Why? Because it is produced while the tongue is raised against the back of the tongue is raised against the back. The back of the tongue is raised against the velum. Okay, so this is it.
There's a question that had been cut.
Yes, please.
So Abdul Fatih asked you if the classification concern only consonants.
No, no, absolutely not. So when I talk about the classification of speech sounds, when I talk about a speech sound, a vowel is a speech sound, a consonant is a speech sound. Okay, so when we talk about classification of speech sounds in general, we're talking about consonants and vowels. But in here, when we talk about the classification that we talked about in classroom, in here, it concerns consonants. But there is also another classification of vowels that we didn't do, and that you will do in your S4 linguistics. Because if I focused on classification of vowels, also on classification of vowels, first, it is difficult for you at the beginning because you are just S1 students. Why? Because when we focus on the classification of vowels, I need to focus on other vowels, not just the English vowels. I need to focus on the vowels the internationally at the international level. That is when, and you'll see that in your S4, that is, you'll do the classification of vowels in terms of rounding, in terms of whether they are produced at the front or at the back, or in terms of whether they are produced at the high level of the mouth, or sorry, when the mouth is open or when the mouth is closed. So this is a classification, okay? Like when we classify consonants in terms of place, whether they are labials, velars, alveolars, palatals, pharyngeal, etc. Whether they are fricatives, you'll see that later, fricatives or stops or etc. So this is a classification of the consonants. Okay, but if we move to the classification of vowels, it's more difficult and more intricate because you will be dealing with the other vowels from other languages. Okay, French, German, etc. And this normally would be done better in linguistics, because here we're focusing just on spoken English. You need to know the English vowels, and I gave them to you. You need to know that we have long and short vowels, round and unrounded vowels, whether they are front or back, and so you will see that later on. I didn't want to complicate things for you because the classification of vowels is more intricate than the classification of consonants. That's why I opted just for the classification of consonants in terms of place of articulation. You will see that in your S4. We are not to do that also in spoken English. Okay, so this is my method because I'm introducing just my students to the main items issues in this course, and I think that they won't find any difficulties in S4, inshallah. Okay, yes. So here, before giving you okay. So here, as you can see in this recap session, that is before we focused more on the transcription. So you see, as I said, that whenever you transcribe a sentence, you should put, for example, here, like here, normally you should put a slash at the beginning, and normally you put a slash at the end. So this is the way, and you leave a space, space between each between words. Okay, like here we grew the vegetable. Okay, so here you find that here it means that we have since we have a space in here, it means that we have different words. Okay, the same case if you are, for example, transcribing a passage, so we should start with either a slash or a bracket like this, and you go ahead. So this is it for syllable divisions, for example, in here. Okay. So we see in here, we have just an example, present. Okay. Present. So we have 2 syllables. So we see in here that we are dividing just the word without sometimes you can do it. You can divide syllables without transcribing it if you feel apt to do it. Okay, so here we have 2 syllables. So here you see some words like atmosphere, occur. How can you here I noticed that many students did it wrong. So for example, atmosphere in here, how many syllables do we have?
3.
Yes, so what are they?
Atmosphere.
Yes, so here you can write the word, you should rewrite the word like in the example, and then you try to put the slash between each syllable. Okay, so we have 3 syllables. In here, occur, how many syllables do we have?
2.
We have 2
syllables.
Yes, 2
Two
syllables.
syllables.
Good. So where should you put the slash in here? Occur.
Between
Between
C.
Between the first C and the second.
Between?
The
Between the
first
letter
C.
C.
Here?
Between
double C.
No. Between
we
double
have
C.
double consonants.
Double C,
We have double
teacher.
consonants,
Yes.
so we have to divide them.
Yes, good. So since we have a double consonant, so you should go directly to and separate the double consonants. So we have occur, so we have ch. Okay, remember that rule. Where you have double consonants, so you divide between the double consonants. Number 3, how many syllables do we have in here?
2.
We have 3.
Instruments.
3 syllables.
So what are they?
In the first one,
Uh-huh.
through the second,
Mhm.
MANT the third one.
Yes, so here, so we have instruments. So you see here, and instruments. Yes. So you see how many do we have in the other?
4.
4.
Yes.
4.
What are?
We have 4 syllables.
Democracy.
Democracy. Democracy. 4.
Democracy. Yes. So we have 4.
Democracy.
Correct. So what do you have this in here? Democracy. So we have a schwa or schwa. This is democracy. Okay, that's why you can consider it as because the schwa, like and a, are vowels, so they can stand as a core of a syllable. So here, how many in number 5? How many syllables do we have?
2 syllables.
2 syllables.
So
You
what
have
are
2.
they?
Yes.
Yes. What are they?
3.
Ray,
Yes,
the first
yes.
one.
Right.
Right.
Right, yes.
Last one.
Okay. Okay. So in here, so you see, this is what I'm advising you. For example, you have, or if you have a chart, you have an example in here. You should just follow the example and do like the example. For example, here, transcription and stress syllable. This is the same thing. You have to transcribe here and to put which syllable is stressed. Like when I say in here, she is very bad-tempered in the morning. So here you put the bad-tempered. So where is the stress in here?
The first syllable.
In T.
Sorry?
Stress
The
in
first
T.
syllable.
What is the first
First
syllable?
syllable.
Which
Bad.
Bad.
yes, and what
Bad.
is this an adjective?
No,
It's
normally in the first syllable of the second word.
Yes,
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 because
good,
it's a compound adjective.
good. Okay, this is what I want to hear.
Second
Is that
part.
it's an adjective, so the stress, it's an adjective, so the
So
stress,
we stress the second part.
good.
Second
So
part.
this is it. Next, here we have underline.
It's a verb.
It's a verb. It's a compound verb. Okay, it consists of under and line. Normally, it's compound. Okay, but
Teacher, sorry,
yes,
teacher.
yes, please.
Can you repeat bad tempered to understand well?
Yes. Let me, by repeating, let me give you just a question. Okay. Okay. Question for you. What is it? Bad tempered.
Bad mood.
Compound adjective.
It's a compound adjective. If you check your handouts concerning compound adjectives, so where do we have the stress?
On the second part.
part.
We have an adjective.
Second part.
And add
The second part.
In this,
On the second one.
yes, on the second one. So there is a rule. In concerning word stress, stating that whenever you have an adjective, okay, an adjective which is a compound word or compound adjective, so the stress is on the second unit. Okay, so this is the rule that we have adopted. Then we can have compound words, but they are compound verbs, like when I say underline. So here, underline, how many syllables do we have?
We have two
Two.
syllables.
Two syllables. Underline.
Three.
Yeah, we have under and line.
Yes.
We
So
divide under, by the way. We divide it. Under.
yes. So here we have underline because it's considered as just one unit. So what is the stress in here?
On the last one.
On the second
No.
part.
It's on the second.
On the second.
No. See the verb, compound verbs.
the first syllable, teacher.
Underline.
Don't think so.
Please check your course. Okay.
It's
check
on the second syllable for
Underline. Underline.
The first syllable.
The second part.
I think it is the second syllable.
Yes.
Not
Why?
the second. Because it's compound verb.
What about compound verbs?
We have a rule in our course, I remember, that tell us that the compound verbs have the stress on the second syllable.
Yes.
Like,
So like when I
understand.
say understand,
Yes.
like when I say present, a present, which is a noun, present, noun. The stress is on the first syllable because it's a noun. But when I say present, here it's a verb. Okay, consisting of two syllables. But in the case of compound verbs in here, the stress is on the seconds. Just follow the rules that you have. Okay, you won't have a problem in this. She is wonderful. How many syllables do we have?
We have two.
Oh, no,
Three.
Wonderful. Yes, we have three.
Three.
Three syllables.
Yes. Okay. So it's an adjective. Yes. So what's the stressed syllable?
First syllable.
Yes. So wonderful.
Wonder.
Yes.
And the adjective. Noun
Yes.
and adjective, we have stress at the beginning.
Good. Okay. Now he's an historian. How many syllables do we have?
Three.
Three syllables.
Three.
Yes. And where is the
Three
stress? And where is the stress?
The syllable before the suffix.
Second syllable.
Before the suffix.
From the second syllable at the end. From the
No,
end.
please, just for the sake of
circulating.
organization, please, like raise your hand, okay? Raise your hand, okay? And we can discuss. What is essential is to find the correct answer. That's it. Okay. Anyone? He is
Teacher?
yes.
Teacher.
Yes. Introduce your name.
Aya El Maghiri.
Yes.
Aya El Maghiri.
Okay, Maghiri.
The
Yes.
stress is on the syllable before the suffix. I think it's store.
Historian. Okay, good. So the
Yeah.
stress is on the second one. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Next, what else? He got a quick reply to his inquiry. How many syllables do we have here? Inquiry.
3 syllables.
Three syllables.
Teacher,
Good.
three
Yes.
syllables.
Yes. What's the stressed syllable?
The second
Why?
Second syllable.
Yes. Okay.
Because
Good.
why?
Now let's just like play. Okay, let's just play in here. Okay, I would like you now. I would like to give you some words in here, and then, for example, bad-tempered. How many letters do we have?
Eleven.
11.
So we have
11.
B. Yes, we have B, A, D, T, E, M, P, E, R, E, T. How many?
11.
11 letters. How many sounds do we have?
Seven.
Three.
Teacher, 7.
How do you know how do you know the sounds?
I think it's three, only three.
Yes.
Don't think. You should be sure.
Yes.
7 sounds.
So we have bad.
Teacher,
Yes.
And A.
I have 11 letters, but when I pronounce it, the word, I pronounce it 7 sounds.
What are these sounds?
Like A.
Bad,
Like
thumb,
Sorry.
red.
Sorry
Wait.
to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
So we have B sound, not B. B. We have A,
B.
A, and then D. And try to count. Tempered. How many sounds do you have? Tempered.
Just 5.
That's 5. Okay, so we're playing in here. We're playing. So in here, like 5 plus 3 equals
8.
so
Eight.
tem.
There are four.
And this R is between parentheses. It's optional. Or we can just temper define It's just a vowel in here.
It depends on pronunciation.
Yeah, it depends on pronunciation, or it depends on the phonetic transcription. So how do you know the exact number? How can we know the exact number? It is by transcribing completely and counting the sounds there. Okay, how many syllables do we have?
4.
Bad.
Three.
Three, teacher. Three.
3. How do you know? What are they? What are they?
Bad.
Bad.
Red.
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 How many? How many then?
3.
3. Bad.
I think there are four. Bad.
Are they 3 or 4?
4.
Or there, it is they like attach the 2 last ones. So this bad temper.
It's just 3, teacher.
What are they?
Bad, thumb, red.
Bad.
Bad, tempered.
Bad.
Red. The last one is red.
No, no, you don't say temperate.
Teacher. Teacher.
Yes.
Three.
What are
Three.
they?
Bad. Tempered.
Yes, tempered, because you have in
One.
here.
Yeah.
Just one.
We have
Okay. Yes, good. So we have just 3. Okay, if you move to underline, how many letters do you have?
9, teacher.
9. Yes, 9 teachers.
Nine.
Not 9 teachers, 9 students in here.
No, teacher, I say 9, teacher.
Yes. Okay, so underline. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 letters. How many sounds?
7. 7 sounds.
7 sounds.
Three.
And
And the line.
the whole.
Without.
Okay, you need to transcribe it. So,
Teacher. Four.
yes. 1, 2.
4.
We don't pronounce the R and the last E.
Yes, you don't pronounce the R and the okay, line. And
Teacher, we have
So
10
do you-
teacher.
So what is important from this exercise, like we are playing in here, is to understand the way you should do it. Because in here, to understand the sound, you should transcribe it. Okay?
Yes.
So just transcribe the word and you'll find the sound.
6
Yes.
sounds.
We have
Sorry?
6 sounds, teacher.
6
What are
sounds.
they? What are they?
Under. And the line. L-I-N.
Teacher.
Yes. Yes. You
Five.
said 7.
5.
5 or
5.
7.
5.
Please just transcribe it and you will see the
No.
sound.
Yes.
It's 6.
Underline. Underline. 5.
Teacher, it's 5.
Five.
Have you
5.
transcribed it? Have you transcribed it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
How many?
6. 5.
Because we have
And
the
The
line. How many?
3 line.
Yes.
It's 6.
6.
It's just in line we
7.
have I and we have 7.
7 sounds. No.
Yes. Sorry. Check the transcription and then you'll know how many sounds.
Sure, and I did the transcription and I found 7.
Yes, 7. Because we have an, the, la, in. 7.
7.
Okay.
7.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move to the other. What else? This exam in here.
Teacher, may I ask?
Yes, please.
Is
Yes,
there a
please.
specific way? Is there a specific way to define where this word occurs?
I can't hear you. Yes, can you repeat, please?
Is there a specific way to define it accurately where this stress is?
Yes, sir. There are specific ways to know the stress. It is by revising your handout. You have the different rules there, okay? You have the different rules and just rely on what you have on the handouts. You have certain rules concerning compound words that is verbs or nouns or adjectives, and you have certain rules concerning the words in general. Okay, just revise. You have the rules. Try to adopt these rules and try to apply them. That's it. Yes, please.
Sure, I think that sometimes we can't follow all the rules. Sometimes we just feel it.
Of course, you need to apply the rules, but please just rely also on your intuition, okay, on your intuitive knowledge of the language, because you are familiar with English. on your intuition plus the rules. Okay, but most of the time, when giving you questions, we take into consideration in exams or in exercises, we take into consideration the rules that we gave you. Okay. So if we move in here to this exam in here, so you see the question in here, what is the difference between the production of voice and voiceless sounds? How would you deal with it?
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
In the voice sounds we have a vibration, but in the voiceless we don't have a vibration. Example for voiced sounds, d, v, g, z, and example for voiceless sounds we have t, f, s, k.
Yes. Okay. So that seems reasonable. You have defined this, that there is a vibration and no vibration in voices, and you gave an example. That is what is left in here is to try to write it well, correctly in a sentence in a grammatical way, and respecting that is just the norms of writing, and try to avoid the mistakes. Okay, writing mistakes like grammatical mistakes. Okay, this is it. So, for example, in here, what is the role of the vocal cords in speech production? So, what should you here deal with? Here, you should try first to define what do we mean by vocal cords. So we say that the vocal cords are two membranes and so on and so on. And they play an important role in the production of speech in general, not just the voiced and the voiceless, but of speech in general, because the air stream goes from the lungs through the vocal cords, making vibration or making no vibration, and then it goes out. Okay. So here, what's the structure is that you define first what is a vocal, what are vocal cords, and then to what extent they contribute in speech production. In here, you will say that they contribute in speech production in general. Okay, because without vocal cords, or someone having problems in his vocal cords, he cannot speak. Okay, because the air stream cannot go through these vocal cords. Okay, so which means in here the role of vocal cords, it's not just to produce voiced and voiceless sounds. Okay, so it's also to produce sounds, or in general, or it is to speak. And the proof is that whenever you have a problem in vocal cords, you cannot speak. Okay, so and then you can take as one example of its role is the production of the voiced and voiceless. Whenever we have vibrations, then we produce voiced sounds, and when we have no vibration, when they do not vibrate heavily, so we produce voiceless sounds. And we give an example. So here, just the phonetic transcription. Okay, the same case for this exercise. Okay, like in here, qualification. So how many syllables do we have? Qualification. Okay, insufficient.
5, teacher.
5. Insufficient. How many? 1, 2, 3,
4.
4. Good.
4.
Christmas. So we have
2.
2. Sight. We have
1.
1.
Already.
3.
1.
3.
3.
Already. 3. Good. So you see, that is, you need just, for example, here, you need to practice. That's it. Football. Okay. Football. So here we have compound words. So where is the stress?
On the first one.
On the first one. Good. Because it's a compound noun. Comedian. So we see here 1, 2, 3. So we have, where is the stress?
Second.
On the
Second.
Yes, good. Silent. So we have an adjective in here. We have two syllable word. Silent. So
First
syllable.
First one.
Critical. We have critical. We have 3 syllables. And where is the stress in here?
First syllable.
First one.
Third one. Good. I agree with you. How many syllables?
2.
2 syllables.
2. Okay. Good. So we have agree. So we have 2 syllables. So what is the stress in here?
On the second one.
On the second syllable.
Yes. Okay. So so this is it. So So this is it, and now
Easy.
yes, it's easy. It's easy now. Yes. By the way, I want just to ask you some questions in here. For example, if I say, okay. For example, if I say, so the important for me is not really the mark as far as your understanding of the course, okay? Sometimes if I feel just you understand, but you don't know how to express it, I give you your mark because I feel behind the line that my student understands the course, understands the question. So in here, if I say, what's the difference between the production of voice and voiceless? If I say, voiceless sounds, okay, or not voiceless sounds. If I say vocal cords, the vibration of vocal cords produces voiceless sounds. The vibration of the vocal cords produces voiceless sounds. This is a statement. Is it true or false? Justify.
False, false, teacher.
False.
Okay, false. Justify.
Because vocal cords produce vibration sounds.
So vocal cords produces, what do you mean by vibration sounds?
Like zzz, for
No,
example.
not vibration sound. But when you say, you should say that's false, because while the vocal cords, or when the vocal cords vibrate, they produce voiced sounds like b, d, g in English. And remember, you have to give me examples from the English language. Do you understand? That is, whenever you state whether it's true or false, that is, you have to state, okay, the justification is more important. Okay. For example, I give you another example. The tongue, the different positions of the tongue is the different positions of the tongue are responsible for the production of vowels. True or false? Position of the tongue is responsible for the production of vowels.
It's true.
True, teacher.
Yes. How can you justify? Because if you say true and you don't justify, so that's zero. Which means that you have just said true, and that's all.
Teacher, did you say tongue?
The tongue, the vocal, the tongue. Okay, the tongue.
Yeah, I know. Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, so I said the position of the tongue is responsible for the production of many vowels. To what extent is that true?
Teacher, it's true. May I give the justification?
Yes, of course.
When the tongue is in front? No, I don't. We don't need it for all vowels.
Like?
Because we don't move it. We move the vocal sound.
No, can you say whether it's true or false? And you justify. False. Justify.
Because we don't need it, and we don't remove it, because we just move the vocal sound.
Vocal sound? No, it's not clear what you have said in here. It's not clear.
Teacher, we move the tongue to produce.
Teacher, is true.
Yes, why?
It's true because I think the vowel is pronounced with the highest part of tongue.
Mhm. So for this question, for example, I won't accept that you go to the handout and you just copy what is related to the tongue. I don't accept it. It's not acceptable. That's zero for me. Why? Because you should give me a well-formed sentence to express and to justify your answer. It's not a question of just, no, you should understand what you're saying. For example, yes. Sorry? Okay, so please, because I have another live revision, it's already 12. It's already 12. So just yes. So let me just explain this point. I can say we can say yes, it's true, simply because in the classification of vowels in general, okay, we need the tongue. The tongue plays an important role in vowel production. In what sense? Because the vowels in general are classified. This is of course they are classified in terms of whether they are round, okay, rounded or not, and they are classified whether the tongue is high in the mouth or low, or it's front in the mouth or back. So the different positions then shape or plays an important role in the production of speech sounds. Nejma Hamam, please deactivate your microphone.
Teacher,
Oh, yes, please.
I think there are some vowels we need to use our tongue to spell it.
Bien sûr. Okay, okay, that's sure. You cannot produce a vowel without raising your tongue either high in the mouth or low, or front or back in the mouth. When I say ooh, 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 you round your lips, okay, but at the back of the tongue, you find you feel the back of your tongue against the velum, okay, in the back at the roof. Ooh, ooh, okay. Or when I say yes, when I say ah. So what is the tongue in here? The tongue is low, okay? So this is just an example, okay? Yes, do you have any question before leaving here? Please, just an advice, no need to copy. You'll get 0, okay? And I'm thinking of doing like a midterm, or not midterm, but a check-in test midterm, just via ENT, and like QCM. Okay, I will do multiple choice questions. Okay. I will do it in ENT, and I will inform you of the time. Maybe I will do it on Friday. Okay, just for my group. I'll do a multiple choice question exam using ENT, and I will take this exam into consideration, as well as the final exam that you will do in next week. Do you understand?
Like a QSM?
Yes, QSM, that is multiple choice questions. It won't be long. This is just a test, quick test, okay, for you. And I will take it also into consideration in your assessment. Of course, besides your participation, besides your exercises that you sent me, etc. Okay, so you see your whole assessment is not relied on just the final exam. Yes, please.
Teacher, may I
Yes.
ask a question?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm in two minds, like between here. I cannot understand the difference between it's like, for example, I'll give you an example to clarify things. Like when we transcribe it, we write the W and that symbol like 3. But sometimes to express the sound we use just the simple E. I just cannot. Yeah.
Yes, you just cannot differentiate between them. When I say with like the 3 here, this is it's open. It's a kind of vowel. Okay, it's a kind of vowel. Okay, that is used. Like when I say went. But when I say with a, just the simple a in here, we say went. Okay, I would like you to
So
adopt.
it's a short sound.
Yes.
The
So
simple A. Okay.
no. It's these are different vowels, and you will see in the classification of vowels, like a chart, the production of a is not like e. Okay. In terms of production, you will see that in the charts while doing the classification of vowels. So I would like to advise you, okay, to follow the speech sounds given to you by your teacher. Who is your teacher?
You are my teacher.
Yes, okay. So I advise you to use just the simple a, went, a, without yes. I
The one
advise
like
you.
three.
No, not the one like three.
Simple one.
Just the
Okay.
simple one, okay? And then after doing the other one in the classification in S4 and so on, then you'll know the difference between the two in terms of production or classification following a particular chart in your S4, okay?
Okay.
Yes, any
thank
other
you.
question, please? No questions?
Wait, teacher, can I
Yes.
ask you a question,
Yes.
please?
Yes, quickly.
Are drift tones considered as a one vowel?
Sorry?
Are drift tones considered as a one vowel?
Yes. When I say a diphthong and a triphthong, they are considered as just one unit. Although, for example, a diphthong is a combination of two vowels. But this combination of two vowels becomes like transparent. Okay, like we consider it as one vowel. When I say house, okay, or house, or when I say hi here, how many sounds do we have? We have a consonant sound, which is h, and we have a vowel sound, which is I, which is a diphthong. The same case for a triphthong. When I say higher, so we have here a triphthong, which is I, and that is considered as just one vowel, but it is in itself a combination of three vowels, okay, as one unit. When I say higher, so here we have h consonant, and we have I, which is a triphthong, which is just one sound, considered as one sound. Good question. Yes. Any other question? Yes, please.
It is considered as one syllable. Higher.
Sorry. Sorry.
It is possible to have a word with more than one stress.
I can't hear you. You have a bad connection. Can you repeat? Yes, sir.
For higher. For
I said, is it possible to have
just one student, not two.
Teacher.
Yes, teacher, quickly, teacher, ask me the question. I need to leave. I have another live. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay. Is it possible to have a word with more than one stress?
She said, is it possible to find in a word more than one stress?
Yes, it's possible, but I told you before that we have what we call primary stress and secondary stress. We didn't focus on secondary stress. We focused just on primary stress. You need to give me just the primary stress, that is the essential one. And we have many stresses in words that are in words. We may have many stresses in words that are very long. Okay. We may have many stresses depending on the word, because when the word is very long, so we can have many stresses. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's focus on the main
Okay,
one.
Ulidati. Okay, yes.
Teacher.
Yes.
Sorry, teacher. Can I ask you, please?
Yes, you're welcome.
So, as I understand, it won't be the same exam for the all groups, because
Yes.
I'm from group 1. Hopefully, I follow all your courses and your live. And I don't know if our teacher will do the same as you or differently.
No, I have no idea about it. And normally, before we used to do a common exam, but since this year is different and it is online, and we have a lot of students, so that's why we were asked to do separate exams. Okay, but I have no idea. But what I know is that we do the same. Normally, it's the same course content normally, but just follow the handouts sent by your teacher. Just follow the items sent by your teacher, and try.
Nothing sent by him.
Yes, okay. So anyway, what I say is that my course may be of a great help to all students. Okay, and what is important is to focus on what we call phonetics. Here in general, what do we mean by phonetics? And you may have general questions. That depends. We don't know. But as far as my exam, I gave you the new strategy, but please revise all the course because I've been shooting from all angles, and don't give me anything from the handouts, and don't blame me if I give you zero for something that you have copied from the internet, because I have an application that when I feel that there is a copy from the internet, I have an application, okay, a plagia application that I use, and I detect all the sources. So no need to do that, to fall into that. Try to analyze things, and bear in mind that the final exam is not for me everything. Okay, I rely more on the others. For the other groups, I think that the course content is similar. If you just understand what I give you, that may be very helpful to you. Okay, very helpful. Okay. And especially, yes, especially phonetics, especially English speech sounds, phonetics, branches, etc. All these may help you. Classification of speech sounds, etc. Even the manner, okay, for others. So that depends on the teacher, but this is the course content. If you want, that is, you can just revise all the course and do even the manner and place and everything concerning phonetics, because normally we have the same course content. Okay. Yes, please. I think that I'm already late for the other group, and we have a revision.
Teacher, please, one more question.
Yes, please.
Please.
Yes.
Thank you. For the students that they can send the homework in the ENT platform because it's too late, and they can also send it in the classroom, because when I have checked, I found that the exercises they have no possibility to send them. I'm asking if they can send those exercises in Gmail. Will you take them in consideration?
Yes, of course. There are some students. Whom I already answer in using the email, okay, and also Google Class. So please now, just to be sure that I receive. Normally, I opt for ENT or Google Classroom. But if ever you have a problem, send it to me to my email elhajawayel6069@gmail.com. Okay, so send me to this email. Of course, this is just reserved, or this is just I kept this mail just for your presentations and to communicate with you. Okay, so please be ready, of course, for the multiple choice question test through ENT. Okay, that I will do, and I will communicate the exact date. I will do for on Friday, inshallah. This is for you to get more familiar, like a revision at the same time, and just to prepare for the final exam. So I will take this multiple choice question test into consideration, along with the exercises, along with your presence in the life, along with the final exam, which means the final exam is just one half or one part of the whole assessment. Don't think that if you don't attend the meetings, if you don't do the exercises, if you are not registered in ENT or Google Classroom, Don't think that if you have, for example, 15 in the final exam, of course, I will keep it for you. But 15 plus other marks of your contribution online, so that won't be 15 in the last mark. Okay, so don't say, okay, I did it well, I have 15, I need my copy. No, because you have another marker of the online work. So that's not the final. Is it clear? So just to be clear, okay, about these things. And inshallah, Friday, we'll try to do the multiple choice question test, and that won't be long. I will choose just few questions to see the way you deal with things.